the VX Gaming Stealth Wireless. That said, now let's keep it simple. No drama, no app wars, just clean, solid wireless audio that actually works. Now, do not get it twisted. Simple doesn't mean cheap. Okay, this thing's running 2.4 gigahertz ultra low latency wireless with a 24 millisecond response, Bluetooth 5.1, and even a 3.5 millimeter fallback if you ever forget to charge it mid match. Yeah, we've all been there. And the sound, those 40 millimeter drivers hit deep enough that when that grenade pops next to you in Warzone, you'll actually flinch. Comfort wise, it's memory foam. Everything, cups, headband, even the weight feels balanced at just 500 grams. Here's the wild part, all of that for a headset that doesn't pretend to be anything else. It's just wireless that works. And that's what makes it dangerous. So the question is, if VX Gaming can't pull this off at this price, what excuse do the big brands have? Bruh. Let's be honest. The wireless headset market right now is wild. Okay, you've got brands tossing around words like flagship and revolutionary and quantum audio architecture. Like, bro, do we need to put quantum in front of everything? It's sound, not science fiction. Every new release adds something. RGB strips, companion apps, voice AI, 3D sound mapping, the works. But here's the catch. With every extra feature, there's more than can go wrong. Firmware updates that break your mic. Software that needs admin access just to change volume. Thanks. And don't even get me started on random Bluetooth drops mid-ranked match. Hell, did. That's the moment VX Gaming stepped in and said, what if we stopped overthinking it? They stripped away the fluff. No app, no constant firmware juggling, no layers of menus. Just plug the 2.4 Hz dongle and play. That's gigahertz, not hertz. And here's the thing, because it's so stripped down, it's consistent. You get low latency wireless every single time without the please reconnect your device. The Bluetooth is connected successfully. Panic right before your squad push. Therefore, instead of trying to reinvent sound, VX focused on what actually matters. A lag-free connection, clear comms, and comfort that holds up after 6 straight hours of grinding. You heard that right. That's why the Stealth hits different. It's not trying to impress you with software, it's trying to make sure you never think about it again. Right? That's where most premium headsets lose the plot. They want you to think about them. Fancy apps, bright LEDs, constant reminders that they exist. Look at me. Girl in the red dress type of thing. The Stealth, it disappears. And that's exactly why it's starting to make some noise. But that's just the surface, because when you realize how much value VX packed in here without cutting corners, that's when the whole headset game starts to look a little exposed. You know what's funny? Every gamer says that they want value for money, right? Until they see a headset without flashy branding and suddenly it's not, nah, that can't be good. No, it's cheap. It must be trash. We've been trained to believe that expensive means better. But that's the trap. Because brands know you'll pay more for name, not necessarily for performance, okay? I'm even stumbling in my words here. VX came and looked at that and said, cool story, bruh, but watch this. For the price of what some companies charge for replacement earpads, the Stealth gives you multi-platform wireless, Bluetooth 5.1, and a clean 40mm driver setup that's actually tuned right. No artificial bass boost trying to break your eardrums. Okay? You know, boom, 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 boom. But here's where it gets spicy. When you put this next to a headset triple the price, you start to realize the gap isn't that big anymore. Therefore, the question isn't, is it good for the money? It's, why are we still paying so much for the same thing? Let's talk comfort. VX didn't just slap on foam and call it a day. They went with memory foam across the cups and headbands, soft, breathable, and light enough that you forget it's there. 18 hours of battery life, 0 pressure points, no sweaty ear drama halfway through the night. And that's where this headset quietly wins. Not by shouting, not by bragging, but by lasting. Because when your $5,000 setup dies mid-raid and the guy with a cheap VX Gaming Stealth keeps playing, tell me again, who really got the better deal? Pumpkin? Now imagine this. A headset that doesn't need a YouTube tutorial just to set up. You plug it in the dongle, it connects. You switch it to Bluetooth, it pairs. You grab the 3.5mm jack, it works. That's not budget, that's freedom done right. Once gamers catch on that reliability is starting to cost less than hype, the big names are going to feel it. You don't believe me? Just watch and see. Actually, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts on that. Because Simple's about to start winning again. Here's where it gets real. Specs are one thing, right? But you only know if a headset's legit when it's 2 a.m., you're squats deep in ranked, and your comms have to be perfect. That's where the Stealth earns its name. The noise isolating mic doesn't sound like a budget add-on. It cuts through game noise, clean. Your voice stays crisp, even when your mechanical keyboard is going off like a typewriter from 1999. You still Morgan Freeman the shit out of that. And because it's tuned right, it doesn't pick up that awkward breathing that makes your friends mute you mid-fight. Yes. But what surprised me the most wasn't the mic. It's how this thing feels. After a few hours, you forget you're even wearing it. No hotspot, no clamps, no neck strain. That's a part big name brands overlook, okay? They chase numbers and miss the point. Comfort is performance. Therefore, when your focus stays locked in because your gear disappears into the background, that's when you start playing better. It just makes sense. It's science. I'm a scientist myself. I've worn headsets that cost 3 times this much that couldn't handle half the pressure. Disconnects, audio drops, battery life that collapses faster than your rank points after a bad night. But the Stealth here, it just keeps going. 18 hours in, it's still rolling. Like it's just the little engine that could. That's when you realize reliability isn't sexy until it saves your match. And when you've had that perfect streak, that clean clutch moment, that flawless call out, you'll start trusting this headset the way you trust your aim. Now, here's where it flips. Because when something this consistent hits the market, the rest of the industry can't hide behind RGB and marketing buzz anymore. You just can't. You've been exposed, son. So if the VX Gaming Stealth just changed the game for under $100, what happens when gamers start demanding this level of honesty from every brand? I mean, come on. Here's the thing nobody in the industry wants to admit. Gamers are getting smarter. Period. Don't believe me? I don't care. We've hit that point where marketing buzzwords don't fool us anymore. Pro Tune acoustics, adaptive waveforms, AI sound shaping. Half the time it's just fancy talk for we pump the bass. But the VX Gaming Stealth, it walks in quiet, and that's what makes it dangerous. No sponsorship hype, no overproduced trailers, just a headset that delivers. And when something affordable starts outperforming premium, the system starts to shake. It's already shaking in its little boots. See, for years, we were told budget meant compromise. But that line's gone now. Because this headset right here doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't sound cheap, and sure as hell it doesn't perform cheap. Therefore, the power starts shifting. From the brands that tell us what's good to the gamers who decide what's worth it. It starts with you. If you're watching this, you're part of that shift. You're the reason smaller brands like VX are getting traction. Because gamers talk on one Discord server, one TikTok clip, one voice chat at a time, and suddenly everyone's realizing, wait, I don't need to spend $300 for something that just works? That's the moment big brands panic. Because when value meets reliability, loyalty flips sides. Gamers stop buying labels and start buying trust. The Stealth isn't trying to be the loudest headset in the room, like yours truly. It's the one that stays in the fight when everything else drops out. That's where it earns respect. Here's the twist. If VX can make wireless this clean, this comfortable, and this reliable for this price, then what's stopping them from going toe-to-toe with the so-called elite models next? And if that happens, woo, a whole headset hierarchy might just collapse overnight. You know. So here we are, a wireless headset that doesn't try to be famous, it just works. No RGB circus, no app updates mid-match, no drama, just pure, consistent performance that proves one thing and one thing only. The game's finally changing. For years, we were told good had to mean expensive. But the VX Gaming Stealth just walked in, shut the door and said, "Ha! Watch me!" And it did. Clean sound, low latency, comfort that lasts, and battery life that outpaces your sleep schedule. But what this headset really represents is bigger than specs. It's a reminder that gamers are done paying extra for hype. We want gear that performs, not performs for marketing. And this right here, this is what happens when you build something for players, not for price tags. Okay? Now, if you've made it this far, you're one of us, right here. You're leveling up, dude. Ma'am. The kind of gamer who actually cares about what's on your desk. So hit that like button if you've ever felt burned by overpriced pro gear. Come on, let's make some noise in the comments. Tell me, what's the most overhyped headset you've ever owned? I'll bet a few of you still have the receipts. Maybe still paying it off, along with your college debt. Because the next wave of gaming gear isn't coming from the big names. It's coming from brands that listen. And when they do, every dollar starts working harder for you. So yeah, the VX Gaming Stealth isn't just a headset. It's a quiet little revolution sitting in your head. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.